I get drunk. Every Tuesday. I play funk. Every Tuesday. I tell lies. Every Tuesday. I get high. Every Tuesday. I never try. Every Tuesday. I let loose. Every Tuesday. Wild goose. Every Tuesday. I take a ride. Every Tuesday. I nearly die. Every Tuesday. I get bumped. Every Tuesday. Shut up. Every Tuesday. I call in sick. Every Tuesday. Suck my dick. Every Tuesday. I kick your ass. Every Tuesday. Smoke your fucking grass. Every Tuesday. Stay up late. Every Tuesday. I masturbate. Every Tuesday. I look great. Every Tuesday. Straight hate. Every Tuesday. Get laid. Every Tuesday. I get paid. Every Tuesday. Taco loco. Every Tuesday. Johnny Yoko. Every Tuesday. Nice dinner. What are you up to, dinner? I get drunk. Every Tuesday. I play funk. Every Tuesday. Stay away from the phone. Every Tuesday. Just leave me alone. Every Tuesday. I'm living large. Every Tuesday. Bitch, I'm in charge. Every Tuesday. I light an incense. Every Tuesday. With Gene Vincent. Every Tuesday. I get the notion. Every Tuesday. Rub on a little lotion. Every Tuesday. Keep it busy. Every Tuesday. Hope it's busy. Every Tuesday. I thank God. Every Tuesday. For a hot rod. Every Tuesday. Come on your face. Every Tuesday. Play the funky bass. Every Tuesday. I told you. Say what? No.
Isn't that special?
Love metal. Every Tuesday. Heavy metal. Every Tuesday. Nice sweater. Every Tuesday. WWG's the letter. Tuesday. I make a fire. Every Tuesday. Cool desire. Every Tuesday. I speculate. Every Tuesday. Ejaculate. Every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. I get drunk. Every Tuesday. I play funk. Every Tuesday. I get high. Every Tuesday. I make it cry.
Welcome to the 21st Century Suffragettes cast. They flipped the bitch switch. We've already won this fight. We've already won this battle. We are not going back, not on our watch. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, family.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Oh. Are we
Fuck
live?
it. We're going
Are
to
we
do it live.
Memorex
We're
live?
going live. We're going live, ladies. Welcome to the 21st Century Suffragettes. I'm Diane Russell. We've got Benny Loco and we've got Spykin and Lindsay Leiter with us. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Well, isn't that special?
Yeah, it just will in that
It's
special. It's one of those
It's special.
fucking kind of days. And I
Yeah,
have
special.
been, just trying to keep up with the fucking news, but psh, It's an impossibility. It's a fucking
like-
impossibility to keep up with the
It's
news.
like it's like trying to catch water in a teaspoon when you're being sprayed with a fire hose.
Yeah, that's right. It'll bend the goddamn teaspoon before it'll catch any.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
For real.
Oh,
It's been a
And-
total shit show, of course, as usual. And I don't even know where to begin. We none of us talked before the show, so we
At all.
didn't compare notes or anything. So we're doing it live, fuckos.
well, we did talk a little bit, Diane. We talked about the Epstein case.
Yeah, but that was a tarot card reading, Benny, and I don't.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know,
like
but listen,
news.
I've been telling people everywhere, and
Yeah.
I mean all different channels. I mean, because I'm all over YouTube. I leave that fucking case number everywhere, and people are starting to pick it up and report on it. So,
Well, and I think it's great that, even the right is picking up on this and they're even talking
Yeah.
about it, and they're pissed off that they didn't get the fucking Epstein files. Well, guess what, fuckos? Where were you when Dinky was fake shot in the ear? Because that's when
Yeah.
the Epstein files actually released. That's when
Yes.
I got all my information. So, where were you?
it was a bait and switch. You look over here while we're doing this.
Oh
over
yeah,
here.
for
Mhm.
sure.
They're
You
famous
were
for it.
you were worried and watching all 24 hours of news, Fox News, all pumped up on fucking adrenaline, getting you all hyped up on all types of conspiracy theories. Here's the answer to one of your conspiracy theories, and you totally fucking ignored it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The interesting thing that I have seen, because occasionally I'll go to Fox News and just look at the comment section, because a couple of days after something breaks, they don't have their ducks in a row, so they'll just be honest.
Yeah.
And the pipe bomber, Dan Bongino said that he was going to go after the pipe bomber and the cocaine found in the White House.
Yeah.
Every single comment was about Epstein and Thomas Crooks. They want to know what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. They're still upset that they feel like they don't have all the answers. And they were told by the two people that are now running the FBI that there was a there. And now they're getting the information that there may not be. So
What? They're there on what? At the assassination attempt? Or
The
the
Epstein-
Epstein files?
both Epstein and Thomas Crook.
Who's Thomas Crook?
The shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah. The nut
They're
job
mad that they don't have all the details. Yeah, they're mad that they don't have all the details about that. I
Well,
mean,
we don't
that's
have the
true.
deets.
We've really not heard anything.
We've
since
never
this
had a
event.
real detailed explanation of Dinky's health. Not once. Not once.
Yep.
In a decade.
Yeah, and now they're removing transcripts. So,
Right.
who's to say?
They're removing transcripts only of Dinky.
Right.
Only
That's
of
that's
Dinky.
the interesting part.
Benny, you're muted, sweetie.
That'd be the hard part because he's in most of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, we already played that. We already showed that. Okay. Sorry. So, yeah. Well, we already talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene arguing with.
Rock like an idiot. I love that for her. I wonder if she thought it was a real person. Like, I wonder if she didn't even consider, because she's not smart. I wonder if she saw like,
No.
well, this person just disagreed with me, so I gotta defend myself. That would be even funnier, as if she didn't realize she was arguing with an AI that was made by Elon Musk. It's just
I've met during my travels in life many deplorable people, but I've never seen so many of them all in one place. This is fucking staggering.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I wanted to start some things off with a little lesson from Jasmine Crockett, which she totally, I don't know what the word
She's my
is.
girl.
I don't know what the word is. I want to say something really bad right now, but I'm just not gonna.
Okay.
She taught him a lesson I think he will never forget. And how embarrassing that you're a member of the fucking Congress and you don't know this shit. Like, it's so clear. It's so
A
obvious.
verbal trouncing.
It's written in the fucking Constitution. And you guys are too fucking dumb to rub your two brain cells together to figure it out. Oh my God, this is so dumb. All right, go ahead and play it, Tony. I just can't wait to hear the tongue lashing.
Accuse me and my colleagues over here of ignoring the Constitution.
Yes.
And if that were true, that'd be a very serious matter. So I did want to just inquire as to what exactly the accusation is. So I'll happily yield to the gentlewoman from Texas if she'd like to respond. Do you believe that someone who is snuck into our country, entered the United States illegally, that the due process requirements for that individual are the same as they are for a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Get him, girl.
I thought the question was for me, but it seems like the lawyers on this side or just my entire team knows the answer.
Mr. Chairman?
Per the Constitution, yes, if you are on our soil, you are guaranteed due process. And the fact that there's even a question is why we are struggling right now. In addition to, an additional issue that I have is the executive order that was signed by the president that seemed to get rid of birthright citizenship, which also is laid out in the Constitution, which is why even the most conservative judges have ruled against. There is no one that has ruled that that was okay.
Okay, thank you.
Not no one. Not nobody.
Thank you for the tongue lashing. Yes. It's in the Constitution. If you are on our soil, you get due process. How hard is it for them to get it?
Apparently pretty difficult.
How can you hold this position and not know what the Constitution says?
I mean, our president
That's
doesn't
what
know
I
if he
wanna
has to
know.
follow the Constitution.
Yeah.
When our own president goes, oh, I don't know if I have to follow the Constitution. I just listen to what my lawyers say.
Yeah.
What?
The funniest thing is if you ask them why it was put in the Constitution to begin with, because they don't understand the history of it. It was put in the Constitution to begin with because when we were after the Revolutionary War, when we were creating this country, Britain, the UK, tried to take our people and remove them.
Yep.
Yes. Habeas corpus. Habeas corpus, the legal right to due process, was included in the Constitution because King George was disappearing colonialists beyond seas to be tried for offenses where American courts had no jurisdiction.
Yep.
That's why. That's why we have habeas corpus, because he was fucking taking colonialists and taking them somewhere where the American courts had no jurisdiction. Doesn't that sound familiar? Like El Salvador and Syria and Libya and wherever else they're doing this shit?
Yep. Just like a king, eh?
No kings. And his tweeting has gotten fucking out of control.
He's losing it. He is losing it. Like,
can we just take a moment and laugh at the fact that Putin said he was an emotional overload?
Absolutely. You should have just called him hysterical. You should have just said, you're being hysterical, honey. Like, that felt like a lover's quarrel that we were watching.
I didn't see it. I didn't see anything that had to do with the pictures that somebody handed him. I didn't see that. I didn't see anything because I went away from my phone.
Yeah.
So he basically he called Putin crazy,
Yeah.
and then Putin on Russia TV said that he was an emotional overload.
That's a real thing that happened in the last 24 hours. Like,
Oh my God, they're fighting
And-
like school kids.
and the thing is like, this feels performative. Like, even his thing today was like, you're playing with fire. He did the
Mhm.
same thing with North Korea
Yeah.
as
Let-
well in the first term. And it
Let
did
me,
nothing.
I'll read it out so everybody knows if you haven't seen it. So,
I'll do the accordion hands.
wait, where is it? Playing with fire. You fucking okay. What
so
Vladimir
stupid.
Putin doesn't realize is that if it weren't for me, lots of really bad things would have already happened to Russia. And I mean really bad. He's playing with fire.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
This is who they think is a strong, powerful leader. This is who MAGA thinks is a strong, powerful.
And it was so funny going on the Fox comment section today going, wait, we're calling Putin a war criminal now? What? I thought, like, they were so confused. And it's so funny. Like, you see them, like, questioning their whole reality that they've been spoon-fed for the last 3 years. And they're just like glitching. You can
3 years, honey. It's been a decade. What are you talking about?
10 years, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
Well,
10 years of that
I mean,
motherfucker not shutting
that's
up for
true.
5 motherfucking minutes.
About Putin.
And here's the interesting thing. There's 82 senators that have signed on to a Russian sanctions bill that's sponsored by Lindsey Graham. So they have enough to override his veto, but they're hoping that he's going to come to the decision to impose those sanctions so they don't have to embarrass him and override that veto. So there's this like very delicate little dance being played right now that we're kind of not seeing.
He's not going to do anything with sanctions
course
in
he's not.
Russia.
No.
So get
This
your
is-
ass to work, Lindsay.
Sorry, me, him, he, me.
Him.
Yeah. So
Miss Lindsay. Miss Lindsay.
Yeah, Miss Lindsay.
Ms. Lindsay.
So
Ms.
Oren
Ladybug.
Kerr, one thing about Trump's scum message for Memorial Day is that it's nothing if predictable. He posted pretty much the same thing on Memorial Day last year. And I'll just read the first 2 sentences, okay? This year, he said, Happy Memorial Day to all, including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country through warped radical left minds who allowed 21 million, which he spelled out 21 million and then he put million after it. So 21 million people to illegally enter our country, many of them being criminals and mentally insane, through an open border that only an incompetent president would. I can't even. It's all one sentence. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So run on.
So let me go to this one. This is last year. Happy Memorial Day to all, including the human scum that is working so hard to destroy our once great country, and to the radical left, Trump-hating federal judges in New York that reside over, get this, 2 separate trials that awarded a woman who I've never met before a quick handshake and a celebrity, 25 years, $91 million for defamation. Oh my God.
Fuck you!
Happy Memorial Day.
Whiny, little petulant bitch.
Fuck you!
Pussy ass bitch.
So I don't know if it's been pointed out already, but he blew up the entire Memorial Day with text messages or truths. He never, ever, ever, ever mentioned our fallen heroes.
No.
No.
Not once. Not in his address that day, not at West Point leading up to Memorial Day. Perfect opportunity. Not one time.
Well, let's not forget the speech he gave at West Point about
Oh, Jesus.
Trophy wise and yachts. Trophy wise and yachts. He was happy for a time, and then he's not. What?
Like, you could take a moment to actually, applaud the graduates, which is why you were there. Because
He also didn't shake their hands.
Yeah.
He left halfway through and didn't even shake their hands.
The most fucked up thing is like, the reason why they're taking down all those transcripts is because when you read what he actually says, it's way more fucked up. Like, I don't know if it's the distraction of him with his fucking hands or his fucking makeup or what the fuck it is that distracts everybody from what he's actually saying. Because, we've all been listening to it forever in a millennia, it seems like. And we see it, we hear it.
Well,
but
I think,
MAGA
Diane, you hit it perfectly on the head. We're actually listening.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
We actually are listening to the words that are spewing out of his mouth, and they are not. Unless it's, a 3 short grunts chant that they can chant.
USA.
When you listen to what he's actually saying here, I think he's talking about himself. I don't even think he's talking about somebody else.
100% he's talking about himself.
I have the transcript of what he said in front of me if you want me to read it. Okay, are you ready?
I'm not ready. It's so bad.
I almost need dinky blockers just to listen to it. Oh my God, Spike, and your dinky blockers are epic.
I'm ready.
Trick with the dinky blockers.
She's got beer goggles on. That's what you need is beer goggles. There you go.
That's the only way I'm gonna survive.
I know, but just don't pour the ends of those beers into your eyeballs.
Remember she does homebrew.
Remember she makes beer.
I know.
She's got bottles all over the place.
Dear leader,
I got literally 99 bottles.
Yeah. Dear leader inspires West Point cadet graduates with an uplifting story about trophy wives and luxury yachts. Oh my God.
You know what I wish? I wish they would have cut to the crowd just like 3 times during that whole thing. They never did.
I would have fucking dead silent.
Yeah. It was almost like the only applause was an applause track that they turned on.
Yeah.
You didn't even hear during that whole thing, there was no applause. The place was
they were like this sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So he said, quote, he had nothing to do. He ended up getting a divorce, found a new wife. Could you say trophy wife? I guess we can say trophy wife. It didn't work out too well. That doesn't work out too well. I must tell you. A lot of trophy wives. It doesn't work out. But it made him happy for a little while at least. But he found a new wife. He sold his little boat and he got a big yacht. He had one of the biggest yachts anywhere in the world. He moved for a time to Monte Carlo and he led a good life. And time went by and got bored. 15 years later, the company he sold to called him and said that the housing business is not for us. You have to understand when Bill Levitt, which I'd like to know if that's even a person.
Right.
You have to understand when Bill Levitt was hot, when he had momentum, he'd go to job sites every night. He'd pick up every loose nail. He'd pick up every scrap of wood. If there was a bolt or a screw laying on the ground, he'd pick it up and he'd use it the next day in putting a house. This is a 5-year-old speaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Here's a trumpet commencement speech. We'll play it again. There's the audience is totally fucking silent. There's no fuck. You don't hear a pip from these people. It's the silence.
I read that he was actually supposed to give, the president was supposed to give the address to the U.S. Coast Guard that was graduating this year, but he wanted the imagery of West Point with his MAGA hat, so that's why he did West Point this year instead. So, and also that he's using campaign gear at a military setting, which is a huge no. Isn't that a hatch act? Listen, I'm not up on the lingo.
He has no rules or laws that he lives in. None.
True.
Zero.
I mean, and also the military, you can get in trouble for adultery or domestic abuse. Like,
You can be
this
discharged.
is not
Dishonorably discharged.
So it's just messed up that, like, everyone is held to a different standard.
Yeah, Republicans are held to none, and Democrats are held to impossible.
Did you guys hear about the illegal wiretaps in the Pentagon today? Oh, did you give me did you give me the finger?
Yes,
Diane,
I did.
Okay.
I wanted to read this about it.
So what was this? 3 weeks ago, a month ago now, when the Pentagon, the Deputy Chief of Staff, and like one or two other people.
So the White House has lost confidence in a Pentagon leak investigation that Peak EdSec used to justify firing 3 top aides last month after advisors were told that the aides had supposedly been outed by an illegal, warrantless National Security Agency wiretap. The extraordinary explanation alarmed the advisors, who also raised with the people too close to J.D. Vance, because such a wiretap would almost certainly be unconstitutional and even bigger scandal than a number of leaks. But the advisors found the claim to be untrue and complained that there were being fed dubious information by Hegseth's personal lawyer, Tim Parlator, who had been tasked with overseeing the investigation. The episode, as recounted by 4 people familiar with the matter, marked the most extraordinary twist in the investigation, examining the leak of an alleged top-secret document that outlined options for the U.S. military to reclaim the Panama Canal to a reporter. The advisors were stunned when Parlator denied having told anyone about an illegal NSA wiretap himself, and maintained that any information he had was passed on to him by others at the Pentagon. So they're saying Hegseth's aides are complaining about a wiretap at the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. But who put it in there?
We don't know. Was it NSA? Did it say NSA led?
Alarmed advisors raised it with J.D. Vance because the wiretap would almost be totally unconstitutional. Yeah.
If it was the NSA, that's Marco Rubio, because Marco Rubio is the NSA right now. Mike Waltz is no more.
And Parlator said he denies telling anyone about an illegal NSA wiretap. He didn't tell anybody, but this implicates that he fucking knew about it.
He did. And also, this is, if you remember, he was Dinky's lawyer for other stuff. And maybe the Florida case? I can't remember. I can't remember where his name has come up before, but he has represented Dinky in the past.
Right.
This is not a... Also, Keg's Breath is operating with, like, no chief of staff, no deputy chief of staff, because they were fired as part of that roundup. He's relying on, like, 6 advisors trying to, like, steer him in the right direction.
Yeah, is it his wife and his brother?
Yes,
and all
it's his wife, his brother, and his lawyer. It's wife, his brother, and his lawyer, and 3 randos that he trusts in the Pentagon. I saw Jesse Dollimore just before I got on here, and he was talking about how this is like clearly the Pentagon at large, absolutely not trusting Tech's breath and absolutely not trusting the White House.
That's good.
Like this is them like circling the wagons and being like, you can lie detector us all you want to. Like we're not going to stop talking. We're going to keep going to the press because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them.
No.
Because this opens up for the people that were fired to sue.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could have anyway. But now they have. Well, they might. I mean, Robert Hur is on the Harvard case against the administration right now. Robert Hur.
Yeah. Didn't he do the investigation against Hunter
Biden?
Yeah.
Not Hunter Biden. It was he did the interview about the classified documents that he got dragged into Congress for that the tapes were just released over.
He was the special counsel on the Biden investigation for the classified documents.
Oh, God.
I can't remember who was on the Hunter Biden case. If you said his name, I would know it, but otherwise I don't know it right now.
Right.
David Weiss feels right. Weiss? I don't know. Something like that.
So I found this, and I found it to be I don't know, just kind of a good list of all their fucking lies, been put in a different way. And this guy named Talbert Swan said, white lies. There is no genocide of white farmers in South Africa. Haitians, immigrants weren't eating cats and dogs. The price of gas and groceries hasn't dropped. There is no stage 9 cancer. The 2020 was not stolen. Jan 6 rioters were not political prisoners. Tesla was not attacked by terrorists. 13% of the population did not commit 80% of the crime. America has never tried basis. What does it say? America has never. My handwriting's atrocious. Has never tried basis on meritocracy. Hired, not. America has never hired on the basis of meritocracy. White people in America are not oppressed. Jesus was not white, and America was not founded on Christian principles. All of it is lies.
Yep.
And I don't know why these people think this shit is true now. It's
because
all
they
Russian,
want it to be true.
It's all Russian
they want
propaganda.
It's feelings over facts. It's again, it's feelings over facts. Even though they accuse us of, following our feelings over facts because we actually care about people and we want to see people done right by our government. You give them facts and they just they tell you it's their opinion. It's your opinion and not facts. And it's like, no, it's substantiated facts. It just, I think that's the most frustrating part about it. Especially for all of you that deal with MAGA on a regular basis, like I do. To me, that is the most frustrating part of it, because no matter what you tell them, they won't believe you. Even if you show them documentation and proof out the wazoo, they won't believe you.
I remember getting into it with my aunt about lockdowns. She's like, those happened under Biden. I said, no, they didn't.
No.
They did not start in 2021, which is when Biden was inaugurated.
They started in 2020.
Started in 2020.
Well, just like
so
they
did the
blame
vaccine.
Obama.
Operation Warp Speed.
They blame Obama for 9/11. He wasn't there.
Lord.
It's the gaslighting, the projection,
the victimhood,
rewriting of history. Rewriting of history, which is so dumb.
Well, and what's worse is you have states like Oklahoma that are now trying to put in their social studies classes in high school classes about 2020 misinformation
Mm.
and how there was discrepancy in the election.
If Fox
So
News
we have
gets-
entire states that are like this.
If Fox News gets fired almost $1 billion for fake news about 2020, then why do they get to put it in their fucking high school curriculum when it was all lies?
Well, think about where the high school textbooks come from.
Texas.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is also the same school system, statewide school system that was going to spend $3 million on Trump Bibles. So,
yep.
Yeah. Bibles instead of making sure the kids had food to eat at school.
Yeah.
49th in education. Just want to 49th here in Oklahoma. 49th.
The saddest part about this is they are, in doing this, they are setting up our children for failure when they become adults, especially if they travel outside of the country.
Listen, they just want worker bees, and the kids won't be allowed to travel outside the country because we're being fucking alienated from everybody. He's an abuser, and he's a sexual predator, and he's abusing and raping our country.
Speaking of, so I went back and I rewatched, one of the first videos I did for you guys, which was, you chose the abuser. And so much of it it keeps ringing true. It just keeps ringing true over and over and over again.
Yep.
And I thank you for the opportunity to put those words out there, because it's a message more people should have listened to. More
facts matter.
No.
We make shorts and stuff like that so you guys can share them. You can share them everywhere. You can hit thumbs up and share all the videos and leave comments on the live streams. All that stuff helps feed the alga beast, as it were. And
the alga beast.
Because without feeding the alga beast, you're just in the void. You're just in the void.
So
I think that's a common theme that I have seen a thread throughout everybody is they all have like trauma that childhood or neglect or a parental trauma that they simply will not seek therapy for. So they're just going to be
because Jesus, you have to, they're indoctrinating children younger and younger with Jesus. And that Jesus is the answer to all your problems. Jesus.
That's another thing. 10 Commandments are going up here in Texas. I know for sure. It just passed the House.
That's why my husband routinely asks my daughter if she wants Jesus. And do you know what her response is every time?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus isn't real.
Yep.
Every time.
Bicycle Mike just said religion set them up to be sheep. Exactly. 110%. And the MAGA know it. And they used, we've watched the documentary, you guys. They funded this shit. They made it fucking happen. And why,
by design.
There was a line in a U2 song that says, the Jesus I believe in isn't short of cash.
Yeah.
But somehow, you're not a real Christian unless you give them all your goddamn money and your social security check, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you giving these churches your money?
Because it's the prophecy doctrine.
I don't care what it is. It's stupid.
It's the prosperity. It's the prosperity doctrine.
That's what it is.
Basically, if you tithe to your church, then God will give back tenfold.
Yep.
That's what it's based on.
Oh, so they're hoodwinking you on top of it.
Yes.
They're waiting generations for that tenfold to happen.
Fuck you!
Yeah.
Literally, generations putting money in the basket for the pastor.
And that's the thing, Benny. They've been promised all their lives through the religion that as long as they ask for forgiveness and they are given forgiveness for their sins, they're going to go
do
to
whatever
heaven.
you want.
Yeah.
Go do whatever you want. We'll forgive you.
They spend their entire lives wishful. and hopeful.
Yeah.
They're
for
the
their
ones who beat
reward.
their wives on Monday, beat their kids on Tuesday, fuck over their neighbor on Wednesday,
Sleep with their
hit
mistress
somebody,
on Thursday and Friday.
and
Yeah,
then
go
and then
out-
they're a drunk driver on Friday and Saturday, and then they go to church and they think it washes it all away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I was in the Bible Belt. I won't say where because I don't want to offend anybody, but I was in the Bible Belt with my band back in the day. This is ages ago, before I even met Tony. And we were walking down the street. It was Saturday night. And, I'm with skinny, long-haired dudes with tattoos. And these big fucking football players came up and they just walked by us. And then the next thing I knew, they were beating the shit out of my guitar player and his brother. And it was the most fucked up thing. And I know goddamn well they did that on Saturday night because they know they're going to go to church tomorrow morning and pray it all away.
Yep.
It's the dumbest shit ever.
If that, and that's like every day. That's every week they do that. And so they just constantly get like a refresh. They're like, hit the refresh button. Now I'm perfect on Monday. Get to do it all over again.
When ultimately I think that's the foundational lack of moral clarity, because they never have to feel their guilt.
Well, that's
They
the other
never have-
thing
Yep.
that evangelicals who've gotten out of it, like pumps on IHEP, say that the thing that we're all kind of missing because we were not indoctrinated in white ring whatever Christian nationalism.
Christian nationalism.
Yeah. That they all believe that they are better than you, no matter who you are.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't care who you
I
are.
was raised Southern Baptist in Oklahoma City. 100% they think that they're better than you
Mhm.
because
look
they
down
have
their nose at
they have
everybody.
Jesus on their side. They have been the chosen ones
Yeah.
by Jason,
Yeah.
Chosen by God.
chosen by God. We have answered the call.
So we have another Jasmine for you. Just a little more
Palate
Jasmine.
cleanser.
Oh, palate
Right?
cleanser for the next the next horrible.
Ms. Crockett for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. It should not be surprising that the president is doing everything possible to make it more difficult for the media to hold him accountable and for the public to be informed about his reckless and illegal behavior. Yet here we are. The Republicans have actually organized this goofy hearing to try to convince the American people that PBS and NPR are, quote, domestic terrorists or domestic threats. My apologies. Not the incompetent, unqualified Secretary of Defense who's texting war plans to journalists. But it's y'all, PBS and NPR, the American people are supposed to be worried about. You can't make this up. It's as stupid as it sounds. The American people should be worried about the president threatening to investigate NBC for treason for reporting on his felony convictions, or arresting reporters and stripping networks of their licenses for not saying nice things about him or not using Gulf of America. The Republicans' witness, Mr. Gonzalez, went so far as to suggest that because NPR and PBS reported on the murder of George Floyd, they, quote, represent a danger to our physical health as well as to civic health of our body politics. And isn't it true that without these stations' broadcasts, Americans in rural communities would lack access to life-saving information and public safety alerts?
That is correct.
So in your opinion, would eliminating funding for stations in rural America like WNGH, Channel 18, and the Chairwoman's District hurt Americans?
It would hurt Americans, yes.
In fact, Georgia Public Broadcasting serves as the official distributor of evacuation route information during state-ordered evacuations, and the chairwoman is here advocating to strip their funding. Look, the DOGE agenda isn't about government efficiency. It's about breeding corruption at the expense of the safety of the American people, particularly Americans living in rural or remote parts of the country. They don't care about public safety. They don't care about emergency management, and they don't care about free speech, all of which are harming American people. In fact, I'm going to skip off real quick because they have tried to come for you, Miss Mayor. And I just want to clarify, you did not work for NPR when those statements were made, did you?
That is correct, Madam
And to
Chair.
be clear, free speech is not about whatever it is that y'all want somebody to say. And the idea that you want to shut down everybody that is not Fox News is bullshit. We need to stop playing because that's what y'all are doing in here. You don't want to hear the opinions of anybody else. And the Constitution states Congress shall make no law respecting or establishing of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging
The gentlewoman's time has expired. The gentlewoman's time has expired.
And by the way, notice the time on that. Notice the timestamp on there. MTG, you've got the floor for 5 minutes, right? Do you know what's the timestamp on it?
2:48, I think.
2:50. 2:48.
It did look like there was a little bit clipped out of that, though.
Yes, something in the middle is missing.
You know, maybe it was, but you know what I mean? At the same time, I'm
Yeah.
just like, and I can just see MT just going, banging on that thing until it hits her back in the fucking head.
Well, did you see her face when she had to introduce her? I mean, like,
Yeah.
it was painful to her to just
Yeah,
introduce
she looked like
her.
she had a mouthful of castor oil.
She talked about on the weekend shows this weekend that she really wants to have the oversight committee seat that was recently vacated by Jerry Conway.
She's vice
RIP.
chair. She's vice
Yeah.
chair. So
I want to
she's
know
the
when we need to
second in
vote
command.
on that because we need her in there now, right now.
Run that one by me again there, Whiskey Dick.
Yeah, how about
Holy
yesterday?
Shit.
Yeah. And again, that's going to be on Hakeem Jeffries. That's going to be on him to rally the
That's
party.
that's whose flesh we press.
Yes.
We ring the fuck out of his phone.
Yep.
Text the fuck out of his social media.
Lisa in our chat goes, I never got how God could have a son named Jesus, but no mama. Who's Jesus's mama?
Well, Jesus is as real as Pinocchio. I'm a real boy.
Jesus is here!
Yeah. No, I no clue. And we're all stumped.
Yeah.
Who is Jesus's mama? Nobody's got an answer.
Mary. Mary.
Mary is the mama. She had the immaculate conception.
She was the child who was raped by God. So, let's not forget that.
Yeah. Okay, so Mary's the mama.
I'm taking crazy pills!
Yep.
This is why they don't want to teach consent in churches anymore. That's what this is, or anywhere.
And she was a child. How old was God?
He was over 18, I'll tell you that.
Oh, their shit falls apart. And yeah, I don't, you guys know I'm not a religious person. I don't know fuck all about any of it. But I find it totally hypocritical and fucking bullshit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So and it's just that you use it as a weapon, just like they use abortion as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And all this stuff, and it's dumb. It's so dumb. It's antithetical to fucking science. We know more from science than we would ever know through the fucking Bible. Psh,
yeah.
Give me a fucking break. Oh yeah, I parted the sea and the burning bush and the turned to stone and I don't believe any of it.
I was raised
I don't
Southern
know.
Baptist.
I'm getting
and
shit confused. Who was the chick that turned somebody to stone? No,
Medusa.
she
that was
looked
Medusa.
back.
That's Greek mythology.
No.
Yeah,
the chick that looked back.
Lot's wife was turned into salt.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
A pillar of salt.
She turned around because she wasn't supposed to look back.
Yeah.
At the angels or some shit. I don't fucking know.
at the she wasn't supposed to look back at the angel fire hitting Sodom and Gomorrah. The fire and brimstone of the all-loving God.
Yeah.
Explain that one to me too. He's supposed to be an all-loving God, but he fights with fire and brimstone, which is supposedly the weapon of the devil, but he's all-loving. What? What?
Come on now.
Black eyes like a doll's eye.
Just make it make sense.
It doesn't.
It's a clown
and this
show.
And if anybody took 5 fucking minutes to think about it, they'd realize that as well. Wait a minute, none of this makes sense.
Look,
well,
But,
and
you know,
if you look at the basis for the Abrahamic religion, it didn't start off as a faith that subjugated women, right? I mean, one of the precursors was Zoroastrianism, and they revered women. Women
As
were the
they
ones
should.
who brought, women were the ones who brought life into the world. So they revered women.
So hold on. So I found this, and this goes right along with what you're saying. So every major religion claims to speak for God, but none of them speak from.
Says you're muted.
How am I muted?
I don't know. I
touched
can
it.
hear you just fine.
I touched the damn thing. God
It
damn
only mutes her on YouTube, so we could still hear her, but they can't.
Yeah. So where did I left off? Okay, so I just start over. Every
Yeah,
major
start over.
religion claims to speak for God, but none of them speak from women. The God is male, the prophets are male, the rules are written by men, enforced by men, and used to control women. If no divinely inspired religion has ever centered women, maybe it didn't come from something higher. Maybe it came from down here, from patriarchal cultures passed off as divine law to justify their authority. Because if truth is universal, it shouldn't be what? It shouldn't be gendered, and if morality is divine, it shouldn't exclude half the species. So this needs to be screamed from the fucking highest mountain ever.
You know, when things are logical and they just fit so nicely. Why would you not go with that as opposed to twisting yourself into a fucking pretzel to believe the unfucking believable?
Yeah.
So I was fortunate, even though I've grown up in the South, lived in the South my entire life. I was very fortunate to be raised by a mother who understood that I had to figure it out for myself. Right. So, and I did. I looked into theology. It wasn't just Christianity. It was Islam. It was Judaism. It was prior faith before that. It was indigenous culture. It was, across the spectrum. I mean, my mom's a Buddhist physicist. Okay. She's a Buddhist physicist who taught me how to make a Tesla coil for a science fair. It doesn't get more science-based.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing she wanted me to include in my decision-making is how much sense does it actually make for the world around us? And the one thing I noticed the most about both Islam and the Christian faith is it's a tool used to subjugate women. Before Christianity, women actually had more rights under Judaism than we do under Christianity or Islam. So
Diane and I were having a conversation, something like this, and I had mentioned to her that, because we were talking about the stereotypical males and like how the cavemen used to drag women around by the hair. And I said, I don't think they did that. I think they worshiped their women. I think the cavemen treated their women like queens.
It's only in
cartoons. I really do. Because they were the giver of the children.
They were
the person who cooked everything. They were the person who kept the cave comfy.
Life force.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, people don't realize how, like, history, women were the poisoners because the women were responsible for the food and nourishment of the entire family. And if you weren't a very good husband, you would find out real quick.
Yeah, she knew that one herb that she could find in the forest that she could only put it and sprinkle it on his food.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Or this mushroom that they knew would hurt somebody.
Yeah, make him trip out for a while and.
Yeah, hit me again, motherfucker. Is what she said.
Get chased by a saber-toothed tiger. Wow.
But I will say, I was raised Southern Baptist. After my parents divorced, my grandparents, my mom's parents, changed to Catholicism, which is like a wackadoo thing to do here in Oklahoma. Most everybody is Baptist here or Methodist. And Southern Baptist is definitely, I see now that I was indoctrinated when I was a child.
Yeah.
And it took several years of being away. It took me going to college, honestly, for me to realize how bad it was. But there are good Christians. There are people that literally do walk the walk and talk the talk. They do. But they're just being drowned out by the more fashionable, loud minority that is on the main screen right now.
Bad
on the main
shit crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're bad shit crazy. Yeah.
And I also wonder, and I'm very young, so if I'm wrong on this, y'all let me know. I also wonder if this has a lot to do. What?
I said I don't think you're wrong. By any
No. I was gonna say something else. I also wonder if it was older generations, since they were raised in households that were mainly man was the head of the household. He made the money. He controlled the money. He controlled the household. He controlled the kids. And
no, my
women
mother
were just
controlled the kids. Go on.
Well, yeah, but women were supposed to obey, and so I think that like teachings from the church plus societal pressure just made this like situation where women in older generations believe that they are supposed to be inferior to men and subordinate to men. And I feel like the sexual revolution started to change that. I feel like women entering the workplace in the 80s has started to change that. And I definitely think after the 2000s that like women know that they don't need a man anymore, quite frankly.
Right.
And they can make their own decisions, and that pisses a lot of men off. And I feel like that pendulum is now like swung back to like, no, we can't lose control over our women. What will happen? What will happen if that happens?
Yeah. So
well, they're fixing to find out because they flipped the motherfucking bitch switch.
Yeah.
Amen.
I was gonna say there's a large portion of men that are finding that out right now.
And they're not happy either about it.
Ain't got no nookie. Ain't got no nookie.
Too bad.
I loved this because, this is a blast from the past. It says my son found this in a Mad magazine from 1992 that we had kicking around. And I can't read exactly the top, but it says people is not usually why we shouldn't believe, but rather, when should we believe Donald Trump? And it has a picture, because it's hard to read. Trump Surviving at the top is the book on the left. And it says, when he writes a book telling us all what a financial genius he is, or the picture on the right where it says Trump Warehouse, when he has to beg his bankers to restructure his debt because he's broke. While he was writing Art of the Deal, he was fucking broke.
Yeah.
Right. He was broke until The Apprentice picked him up.
Yeah.
Yep. And he turned down the money for The Apprentice at first because he thought he could make more. But then we realized he wasn't going to get any more money. He was like, well, guess I'll take it.
And then he parlayed that money into running for president, and that's how we got where we are now.
I also saw Joe Pesci on Sesame Street. This is why I think he's so mad at Sesame Street. Because not only did they have him as like a Oscar the Grouch character on one episode, but Joe Pesci played him as in like the 80s, I think, or maybe early 90s, his character. And he was like kicking people out of Sesame Street, like evicting people out of Sesame Street.
I think they're calling him Grump on Sesame.
Yes. Grump, that's right.
So
Donald
of course
Grump.
he's butthurt about a puppet.
And this whole thing with Harvard, with Harvard, he's so butthurt that Barron has not been accepted to Harvard, but Obama's two daughters both went there, plus Obama himself, like super butthurt.
I saw Kevin O'Leary ripping his ass about this.
Who's
the
Kevin
Shark Tank
O'Leary?
guy he's the Shark Tank guy. He's Mr. Wonderful.
The
He's
bald
on Fox
guy.
all the freaking time.
The bald guy?
He's
Yeah.
pissed. He is pissed that he's going after Harvard because what are you doing? What are you doing? Like the one institution that could probably outlast you these 4 years because of the money they have and the donors they have and the resources they have. Okay.
Yeah. Go for it, bro.
Go for
Harvard
it.
said, fuck you, Donald.
No, it was
I did have
and you.
Diane, I did have as one of my clips Scott Pelley from CBS's 60 Minutes. He was the first he didn't quit, but he was the one to announce the people quitting whenever Paramount was being sued. He hosts 60 Minutes. He did a speech at, I think, Wake Forest College. That's really good if you haven't heard it. I sent a clip to Tony.
I did see it.
It is. He doesn't name names. He just talks about the situation and how important freedom of speech is, how important it is to our institutions and our media and our way of life.
It was a brilliant speech.
It really was.
Mm-hmm.
And I love also going back to the Muppets, how pissed all of MAGA was about Kermit's commencement speech.
Yeah,
Kermit,
Scott Pelley.
you're pissed off at a puppet. Get a fucking life, bro.
Just like their leader.
Yeah.
Just like their leader. You know, he gets pissed off at inanimate objects.
I also saw somebody call Carolyn Levitt the evil Mrs. Piggy, and now I can't unsee it. So.
Oh my God, that's great. Roll, bitch. Evil Miss Piggy.
Evil Miss Piggy.
Oh my God.
She does. She's got a little snooty snout nose.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, because of her new nose job. All right, here it is. Scott Pelley.
So good.
But in this moment, this morning, our sacred rule of law is under attack. Journalism is under attack. Universities are under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack. And insidious fear is reaching through our schools, our businesses, our homes, and into our private thoughts. The fear to speak in America. Power can rewrite history with grotesque, false narratives. They can make criminals heroes. and heroes criminals. Power can change the definition of the words we use to describe reality. Diversity is now described as illegal. Equity is to be shunned. Inclusion is a dirty word. This is an old playbook, my friends. There's nothing new in this.
No. Nothing new.
So good.
They
So
just changed the
succinct.
words that they were
Just
attacking. That's all.
Spot the lie. Name the lie. There ain't one. No
Well,
lies
I
detected.
didn't like that he said that people are afraid to talk. Because if I was afraid to talk, I wouldn't be here right now. So there's some badass bitches right here.
When he said that, I was like, he doesn't know me. You know,
He's afraid to
not
talk on
speaking
60
for
Minutes
me.
and tell his fucking people the truth on 60 Minutes. He's being held underwater because he should have been out there for the last decade saying exactly that live on fucking air.
Yep.
Not in front of a couple hundred students. Wake Forest. Psh. Wake Forest got to be a small school. And I don't care if it's a giant school. I don't care. He should be out in front of on 60 Minutes saying exactly that.
Yeah.
You see, you can't go on these shows unless they'll have you on.
Right. Just
You
last
understand
week.
that, right?
But he's a regular. I mean, he's a regular.
Yeah, he's a host.
He's a host.
Yeah,
on
but
there, yeah.
listen, everything needs to be pre-approved by the right-wing billionaires that own those
that own
networks.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he deviates from what they want him to discuss, he's going to endanger his job.
And they won't air it anyway.
Right. Did you see Bob Iger told The View to cool it with their Trump trashing last week? And they said, and did it anyway.
Yeah. Good for them.
Good for them.
Those ladies got a lot of power between them. And guess
They're-
what?
They do.
They started it this way to speak about politics. They went through even before Dinky, right?
Yep.
So let's not, mince words. Those ladies have been on for a long time. And I think it's actually, I don't watch it. Okay.
I don't know.
But the concept of it, I agreed with. Getting women on a fucking panel. Now they've had some horrible people there, on the panel. And people I do not agree with, which turned me off. And 2,000 graduates at Wake Forest. So there's women who've been on the panel who I definitely do not agree with. Whoopi and what's her name? The Reddit
Joy.
Yeah, I like
Joy
her.
Behair. I don't know. I don't know how to
Behar,
pronounce
yeah.
that. Behar. Okay. Behar. Oh,
something like that.
Behar.
Yeah, I like them, but they've been there, consistently, and everybody else has kind of changed through. And Barbara, who started it, what's her name?
Walters.
Wawa.
Barbara Walters. Yeah.
Baba
Who started
Wawa.
it. Yeah. It was such a great idea. And that somebody like her would come up with such a thing because she's been sitting on panels with men who don't know fuck all her whole life.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. But at the
there
same
was-
time, I'm not a big fan.
She did an interview back in the day when she was real big with doing her interviews with Trump that has now resurfaced.
Yes.
I was just about to say this, Spy.
I saw
She
the
called him
thumbnail
out.
of that. Yeah.
She called him out. She was like, he was trying to say that, he's like the king of debt and he has all these opportunities and banks are like throwing themselves at him to try to give him money and to finance all of his projects. And she's like, I called those banks. You're broke. He was just like his face. You know how he does whenever he's pissed, he goes, Like he puckers his lips. He did that like move, like I would slap you if we were not on camera. Like it just in that moment, you saw just a flash of that, what he would do behind closed doors if there wasn't a camera on him.
Yeah, and
It was so telling.
Didn't he get up and leave?
No, that was 60 Minutes. That was
another female, though.
Yes,
But I
it was
think-
another female.
I think the Barbara Walters interview that has resurfaced now is what actually started his fight with the media, because she actually held him to account and he would never let that happen again.
Right. Yep.
Especially from a woman.
Yeah. Well, even from a man,
well-educated.
just the other day with his MS-13 bullshit, he would not let it go. Like he was called out, he was corrected, and it was a guy, and he still wouldn't let it go. 7 times he tried to return back to that subject.
Right. And it, like 2 minutes of airtime, just going,
Yes.
you understand? Yeah.
Yep.
And I, this whole, looking at Putin and looking at Trump at the same time, they both go like this. They're both hunched over with their arms on the table, way down, hunched over, leaning way forward. And it's really kind of weird to me that both of them do that.
I think they think it's intimidating. Like if you're they're invading your space by doing that.
You look at
doesn't.
Dinky in the Oval Office. He's leaning forward, arms on the table. The video that I just saw of Putin today, the same thing that you were watching with the Dollamore or whatever. So leaning forward, all hunched down, looking like a fucking little frog. See, the thing is, when you sit up straight and you know what I mean? You're a bigger person. You're bigger. But when you're like this, and you're down here like crouching, you look like a little toad.
Yeah. And here's a common thread between the two of them right now. They are incredibly paranoid.
Yes.
They know they're pieces of shit. They know that everybody has it out for them right now.
And I wonder if they're a little fake. I wonder if it's a little fake fight just for distractions.
I think so.
I would.
I don't think the senators are going to do the sanction stuff until the whole big, beautiful bill thing is dealt with. Unless something crazy happens. Here's another thing that happened in Ukraine. Merz, the new German chancellor, just raised restrictions for how far Ukraine can fly missiles into Russia. So, like, if they get the Storm Shadows and the Tauruses, they are going to. It could.
Weren't they the last country that was really holding Ukraine back? So
Yes.
now that they've lifted that, Ukraine has full reign
All
to.
systems go.
Yeah.
France, UK, and Germany are the ones making the weapons. 2 out of the 3 have nukes, and they just hit the green light. And they said, fuck you to Dinky. We're done with you. Zelensky has been at Istanbul to negotiate. He has signed your minerals deal. He did a 30-day ceasefire. Not shit Putin has helped with. He has not come to the table, not once. He has not maintained a ceasefire, even those 3 days over his little victory parade. So, fuck you, Dinky. We're going.
What's going on with his fucking parade? Now, I saw something earlier. Hold on. Let me go to my notifications because I do want to repost this. So, to give you guys all the information you need because, okay, I don't know, are we leery about putting our information in Dinky's hands? Yeah, I'm leery of it.
I am. I will not be.
Get a burner
Tony
phone.
goes,
and a
I don't
freaking-
give a fuck. I have multiple accounts.
Yeah, and a fucking throwaway email.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Here it
I don't
is.
know how they're going to verify the information because you have to put in either a cell phone or an email to like verify.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a
And
cell
not only
phone.
that, you guys, am I wrong? But it's not really the 250th anniversary. That's going to be next year. it's really 249 this year.
No, it's 250 this year because we started fighting the American Revolution. We made an army to fight the revolution, and we gunned our independence. 76.
Well, it's the military's
It's the anniversary
birthday.
of the U.S.
Yeah, it's
Army
the military.
Grand Military. Okay, so it's a...
And it's just the Army. The Army is 250 years old.
There
Not
you
all
go.
branches, just the Army.
That's what I was probably missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I thought it was 1776, right?
It is. That's when we gained independence. That's when we won the war.
Right.
Yeah.
They're trying to
The
say
war was
that
being
it's a
fought right
parade
now.
for the army, and we all know it's a parade for him.
Everybody does. Everybody does. And I really do feel like he wants a moment during that parade. He wants protesters to run out into the street. He wants somebody to do something violent to disrupt the parade. He wants something like, and it wouldn't, God, I hate the world we live in. It wouldn't surprise me if he did what Putin did with the apartment complex that he bombed.
Right.
Where he made a problem.
Right.
Just so he could respond to it.
Yeah. Created it so he could start,
Created
bullshit,
it.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say the phrase, but because Alex Jones has beaten the phrase into oblivion. But I think he wants something to happen that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. And that's why there's protests everywhere, all around the country, except for DC that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Good.
So let all the maggots congregate there and shoot at each other. I don't give a fuck. So anyway, Dinky posts, I'll be making a Memorial Day speech today at Arlington National Cemetery, 11 a.m. Oh my God. Dude. Ugh. Stay away from
Nobody cares.
Arlington. Do yourself a favor. Alex Cole Alex Cole posts, did he say enjoy? Yeah, because 11 a.m. Enjoy in all caps. Did he say enjoy like he's hosting a barbecue at a cemetery? Leave it to a man who dodged a draft to say enjoy about soldiers who didn't make it. I don't know. It's cut off. And then Martina Navratilova says, this is the same guy who said he was looking forward to the Pope's funeral. A true psychopath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Spy? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I just, Jim the Geek in the chat actually just posted that the Army has decided not to participate in the birthday parade.
How does that work? Are they just going to have...
maggots and Proud Boys and insurrectionists and...
Hey now, did you see in St. Louis where the Patriot Front so it happened in South Carolina too, I want to say recently. Maybe Charleston.
It was
where
I saw something in
they're
Utah.
renting U-Hauls.
Where was that, Tony? We saw that video.
They're renting U-Hauls. They're packing men in U-Hauls and they're taking them downtown and having little Nazi marches. And this time, this is the fucked up part. This time, the cops were there to protect them, not the citizens, the Patriot Front people.
Okay, well, this is what we saw in Idaho.
Maybe it was Idaho too.
We can keep discussing
protection.
We can keep discussing these societal issues.
Trust and believe.
Year after year, but nothing is likely to change. Instead, it's up to you to take proactive steps to protect yourself and your family and live with the reassurance that you can protect your life if a threat arises. Plain and simple. And that, I don't know what the fuck this is. This is Utah police pulling over a U-Haul. 31 people affiliated with white national. 31 people affiliated with white nationalist group were arrested on Saturday in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
This is where that lady was dragged out a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Of that town hall.
Coeur d'Alene. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. by the private security group that are now
And it
being
looks like
sued.
they're making these guys get out one by one and jumping on the floor. And the cop, you got to play the video.
Somebody pointed out you can put a padlock on the outside of the U-Haul to lock them in there. Just do with that information what you will.
It's totally illegal to ride around in the back of a fucking U-Haul.
It is. It is. And I don't know
We knew that we
why,
would be
like, this
facing
is just, like,
a
fine.
crowd of people who were who might pose some difficulty for us. I think some of us were a bit surprised by not only the level of preparation that we saw, but the equipment that was carried and worn by those individuals, along with the large amount of equipment that was left in the van when the stop happened. That level of preparation is not something you see every day. It was very clear to us immediately that this was a riotous group that had prepared in advance to come downtown and disrupt either the Pride event or the Prayer in the Park event or just riot downtown in Sherman. We didn't know that at that point, but it was clear to all of us that there was some ill intent there.
So I'm pretty sure that this video is actually old. Jim the Geek in the chat is saying the same thing. I want to say this is from Pride Month last year.
So why is it showing up now?
Maybe because Patriot Front has been making more appearances. Like they were in Charleston. I want to say they've been in St. Louis. I want to say they may have been in like Nashville or Ohio, one of those two places too. Or Tennessee or Ohio, I can't remember which.
I know they were in Kansas.
This is a thing that they've started doing. They'll rent a U-Haul, they'll load it up, they'll go downtown and fly the little flags, have their gaiters and sunglasses so nobody can recognize them.
Matching shirts and khakis.
Yep. Yep.
And all their matching tiki torches in fucking Charleston.
I don't understand how the Army isn't even going to participate in this. I did read that they won't have time to practice the parade because they can't shut down DC. It's a major freaking city. Like they can't shut it down to practice. So it's just going to be like 7,000 people, like 30, what's there be 34 horses? Police be 34 horses. How hilarious would that be? And like some police dogs or something. That's going to be part of the parade. There's going to be a couple tanks that are on metal runners and some people moving military equipment. And that's it.
Why wouldn't
Like,
they put tanks on the back of trucks?
I don't know, because he probably wants to see them on the street. He wants the visual. He wants
tanks
the show.
on the street, like that place in China where the guy stopped him.
Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
That's what I think he wants. And I've been saying this for like 2 months now, ever since it's been announced. He wants that. He wants that image.
He wants a Tiananmen Square event.
He wants somebody with a pride flag and a BLM shirt in front of a tank opposing him. That's what he wants.
They're in drag.
Well, let's make sure that he doesn't get what he wants, because he really hates that more than anything.
I'm not watching it. I think the best thing you can do is just absolutely not give him any kind of ratings, any kind of views, any eyeballs.
Something of this magnitude has got to be planned 6 months, a year in advance. You cannot just this is not. I mean, and not only that, I'm totally against it, right?
I am totally against it.
And like places like France, like he was all pissed off because Macron got one of these, you know, and it's the way they do it over there. We don't do it here, right? So we don't do military parades. There's a reason. So let's just, you know, shut down DC for Dinky's birthday. By the way, what day is the fall on?
14th. Hey, Tony, can you find...
No, like what day of the week? Is it a weekend or...
Oh, I don't know.
Let me look.
Tony, can you find outside the USDA, they put up posters of Dinky
It's a Saturday.
and Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
Can you find those for me?
His
Just
birthday
I
is
feel like he
giant,
wants to
too.
put. I feel like he wants to put these everywhere in DC before that day. That's
He
also
does.
again another thing visual that he wants is every little building, Fed building he shuts down and lays everybody off, furloughs everybody. He's gonna hang a little banner saying, "I did it."
His birthday is on the 14th, which is also Flag Day, and Father's Day is the next day.
Of course it is.
Oh my God.
What? So it's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Okay.
And still, I mean, DC is a busy city. You can't just shut down the streets of that fucking place, right?
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, this is exactly what he wants. This right here. Perfect, Tony. Oh, and the side-by-side comparisons
just like
are
all
beautiful.
the dictators do.
Yeah.
Look at all those fucking dictators with their giant fucking portraits.
This USDA has a Abraham Lincoln poster to the right of it, and there's one that has like this really long posters, like flipping Abraham Lincoln, like flipping him off. Probably my favorite one.
Now, do you want to see Dickie's picture up all over? Like dictators put their pictures up all over everywhere. Remember how, like, if you didn't have a picture of Hitler in your fucking house, they, you know, yeah.
Yep.
Like that kind of bullshit. It's so
forced propaganda.
Dumb. It's so dumb.
I just want to know when we're going to get the chart of what hairstyles we're going to be able to wear. Because is that coming next?
Well,
because that's what North Korea has. You only have like 10 haircuts to choose from.
Yeah,
don't fuck with my hair. Don't fuck with my hair, man. Don't fucking touch my hair.
Also, it does give me so much joy that his hair is absolutely falling out right now, and he's having trouble like maintaining the
wisp,
the facade,
the cotton candy that's on his head right now.
The rat's nest,
his little swirly,
the little piss twirls. Oh, was it vandalized or is that? Oh my god! Oh, that's great.
Oh, they projected a horns and a goatee
I love it.
on
Oh
it.
my god,
I
that's
love it.
great.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Keep it coming.
He thinks he's so tough. He thinks he looks so tough.
Yeah.
He's
Sure.
no,
he
you
does.
look like a toad.
I saw the Kennedy Center is like leaning into like not drag heavy productions, but like they've like Mrs. Doubtfire is going to be there. There's like other stuff that's like going to be playing that's like, you guys realize that in ancient play culture that men would play women's roles, right? Because women weren't allowed to be in plays.
In the time of Shakespeare, yeah, women weren't allowed to be on stage. So men played those roles.
It kills
Lady
me.
Macbeth was played by a man.
Yeah.
Robert Carr in our chat just said, "I'm not asking the barber for a dead ferret look."
It's just getting worse. And there's this like weird, this part right here. It's just like a pink. It's pink.
Oh, he's so bald. It's not funny.
I love it. And he's definitely losing up here. Like this.
I would love to shave his head.
No need. Give it a year. Give it a year.
Yeah.
I bet he'll be wearing hats everywhere.
I want to see them shave his head. I do.
There's pictures out there of what he would look like if he didn't have makeup on, if he allowed his like natural skin texture to show, and if he did actually go bald. And it is Actually, I think he looks more terrifying like that.
I was gonna say he looks a lot like Riff Raff from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes, he does. Oh my God, he does.
I know, Jan Morgan. Jan Morgan,
Jesus
you're right.
Christ.
$6 trillion to the national debt while giving billionaires tax cuts, gutting Medicaid, SNAP, and Medicare. 800,000 children will lose health care. 14 million people will lose health care, and close 742 hospitals. It's just, if you guys didn't listen to Stephanie Miller this morning, please listen to her. Olivia Troy did the interview. She has been calling out that it is like a literal attack on all science and all medical information. They're just like they're getting rid of his transcripts. They're getting rid of all archives of all his fucking information that we've been collecting for decades and decades, about diseases and all this shit. And they're not tracking any diseases anymore. We don't know how bad the measles and tuberculosis outbreaks are. We don't know nothing. It's so fucked up. It's like
there was a little boy that got so ill from an E. coli outbreak. They think he ate a salad and contracted a very bad E. coli gut infection and nearly died. Come to find out that this was a known outbreak, that 80 people had been affected, but no one said anything.
Yeah.
Because no one was like telling anybody.
So
and how many times are we going to have that happen?
God.
Like, if you don't know, measles kills 1 in 1,000 people. 1 per 1,000 people. We've had 3 deaths so far, and only about 1,000 cases have been reported for the whole country. So there are definitely cases that are not being reported right now.
Well, and what's worse is, especially as far as measles goes, is the effects that it has on the body after the body fights it off. It can cause blindness. It can cause you to lose your hearing. It can affect your mobility. I mean, there are a number of different things that virus in particular does, even if you survive it.
2 things: the major issues that it can cause later on it can cause a kind of like a meningitis decades later that can cripple you, kill you. And it can also cause a complete erasure of your immune system. Zero. Like it's like for people that are immunosuppressed or go through cancer treatment, it will wipe your immune system.
So Christopher Webb says if the Trump administration actually cared about our health, they wouldn't have rolled back 100 EPA rules, slashed toxic cleanup funds, weakened pollution limits, blocked pesticide bans. None of this is based on science. It's based on the whims of a conspiracy theorist, meaning RFK Jr., who's a fucking nut job of epic proportions.
So they're going to increase. They're going to increase our taxes, but they're going to roll back all the protections that allow us to live day to day.
Right.
We're going to pay more money, and they're going to kill us in the process.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they're also rolling back COVID vaccine recommendations, which, again, COVID is not gone. If you don't know this, there's 2 new variants that are making their way through China and India right now.
From Kathy Zinn. To accept, press.
Hi, Kathy. How's it going?
Hey,
Thanks for calling.
Kathy.
Hi there. I was calling in because this is what drives me crazy. So my brother and I are 14 years apart, no kids in between. When he was growing up, there was no vaccines. He caught everything. He caught the measles, he caught the mumps, he caught chickenpox twice. And I forget, and had tonsillitis galore before they took his tonsils out. By the time I came along and they had vaccines for all of that, I had none of that. None.
Mm-hmm.
And it blows my mind that, because I believe measles can also cause sterility.
It
and
can.
Yes, it can.
That was a big fear that my mother had, because when my brother got sick, he just didn't get sick, he got sick. And, you know, he was a sickly kid growing up, and, you know, and my mother was really worried that, you know, he would not be able to have children. Luckily, he had 2 beautiful girls, my beautiful nieces. But I mean, yeah, I mean, into what was said earlier, it's like, yes, it's not just the measles aren't a cold. You know, there's after effects to it that you may not even get the effects of until later in your life. This anti-science crap just drives me absolutely crazy. And I was talking to a friend about it because growing up, you know, I was born in 62. So growing up as a child in the late 60s and the space race, and he remembers every little boy wanted to be an astronaut. And like everybody was into science and technology and how much further can we take it? And oh my gosh, we're getting all these vaccinations, we're eliminating diseases, and everybody was all excited about what happened. You know, now it's like, no. We don't want to be smarter. You know, and the other thing drives me crazy is that with all these threats in our institutions, we're already losing our greatest intelligent people.
Brain drain.
Yes. And I already saw on Facebook, and yeah, it just came up and said, hey, you know, did you get laid off in the U.S.? Germany has opportunities for you.
Yep.
You know,
I saw China. China is recruiting from Harvard now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah, all these countries are saying, you know, fine, America. You don't want your best and your brightest, we'll take them. And they're hungry, and they will pay them. I mean, I know somebody was telling me there's even been offers of they will pay to move you over there. They'll pay your rent for the first year.
Yep.
I mean, you know.
Plus, you get health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, they're doing that because we are on the cusp of a new innovation that can be harnessed.
Right.
But because we have an idiot in the White House and a bunch of cult members following him, none of them are focused on this. None of them are focused on this. And we will be left behind the same way that Russia was in the space race.
Right.
We will be left behind as these new innovations continue to propagate.
Right. And there was a discovery made right as Trump became president and he started cutting all this shit. They had this absolute spectacular breakthrough in regards to Alzheimer's. And they said the problem is they can't do any further research on it because Trump took all the funding away.
Exactly.
And I'm like, that lab or that, I can't remember who was working on it. They already found, I don't know if they went to Switzerland or where they went to. It's like, hey, we'll set you up. How many desks do you need? How many labs do you need? We'll set you up.
Yep.
Well, same thing with cancer breakthroughs. There were a couple of cancer breakthroughs, targeted cancer breakthroughs.
That's the other thing hold on, Kathy, that's the other thing that they don't realize is that they can shut it all down here. But all those people are going to go somewhere else and they're going to do that research anyway. So it will be done whether you fucking like it or not. You fucking assholes. So we want it done here.
Be done here.
That's why we want it done here, right? In the richest country in the world, and all your braggadocious bullshit. But guess what? Now it's all going to go to other countries, and I'm glad they're still doing the research. I'm glad because
me too.
if we're this close to solving any of these fucking problems, then Republicans can't fucking cockblock it anymore.
Right.
Well, and what's worse is we're out of the World Health Organization as well.
Yeah.
So we're not sharing information with them. We're not, getting their recommendations anymore. We're not heeding their warnings. We don't have access to their information. Like,
I know. It reminds me of when they were building. We could have gotten the super collider, I think, in Austin. I think it was the University of Texas in Austin. And George Bush said no because somebody told him that it could blow a hole in the earth, which was total bullshit. And so it ended up going to Sweden or Switzerland, one of them. And then they built the facility and they got all the jobs and they made all the fantastic discoveries.
Right.
Yeah. The Large Hadron Collider at CERN.
It's exactly what I'm talking about.
Lucerne, yeah.
But what did
Lucerne?
But
Yep.
yeah, what did Dinky sign last week that the left had been pushing for, at least for a time? Nuclear power. He signed all kinds of stuff about nuclear power.
He didn't even know
It's
what the
like, we
fuck
were
he
trying
was
to get you to do
signing.
that. Yeah, we were trying to get you to do that decades ago.
So, Kathy, thank you so much for calling in. There's a couple more videos I want to get to. So, thanks, sweetie.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
So, here I think is what you guys were talking about. This is 2 days ago. The far-right extremist group Patriot Front is marching in Kansas City, Missouri. Remember when MAGA claimed they were feds and the FBI? Do they now claim that these people are being led by Kash Patel? And again, with their little gaiters, their matching hats, and their matching shirts, and their matching khakis, and with all their weirdo flags and American flags. There's a video. And there's noise to it, so you got to play the audio. Well, they're saying something, and I can't even understand what they're saying. We claim America. How come those guys aren't deemed terrorists and being shipped out of the fucking country? Fuck you, people.
I found something out about this group. The same group that did the Charlottesville, the Jews will not replace us event. They broke into two parts, and this is the part that broke away. I don't know why, I don't know what, but it's the same. It's the same group, part of the same group.
Angry Ginger's in the house. Hey, Angry Ginger. Thanks for hanging in our chat. We appreciate
hanging
you,
in,
bro.
hanging out, and hanging on.
You know how
Hope
it
you're
is.
feeling better.
So I
That
wanted
plant sperm will get us all.
Yeah.
From time to time.
want to also play this. De Niro 81 received a Palme
In my country.
Lifetime Achievement Award at the event in south of France on Tuesday when he called Trump Philistine president. So, yeah, this is in Cannes, France.
I love Robert De Niro.
I know.
I do love that.
And
I just call him Bobby D.
In my country,
Tony.
Because I can't go to.
Tony.
It doesn't go to YouTube.
Okay. All right.
in my country, we're fighting like hell for the democracy we once took for granted. And that affects all of us. That affects all of us here because the arts are democratic. Art is inclusive. It brings people together. Like tonight, art looks for truth. Art embraces diversity. And that's why art is a threat. That's why we are a threat to autocrats and fascists.
Amen.
America's Philistine president has had himself appointed head of one of our premier cultural institutions. He has cut funding and support to the arts, humanities, and education. And now he has announced a 100% tariff on films produced outside the U.S. Let that sink in for a minute. You can't put a price on creativity, but apparently you can put a tariff on it. Of course, this is unacceptable. All these attacks are unacceptable. And this isn't just an American problem. It's a global one. Unlike a film, we can't just all sit back and watch. We have to act, and we have to act now. Without violence, but with great passion and determination. It's time for everyone who cares about liberty to organize, to protest, and when there are elections, of course, to vote.
Of course, to vote.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
I like how you can't. I'm an artist. I'm a musician, right? You can see all my stuff behind me. I also am an artist and a painter, and the thing that threatens fascists most are all those. Remember all the artists that got banned and stuff during the McCarthy era, and all the, artists that painted stuff that their dear leaders didn't like, and they were banished, and you know what I mean? Like, even all the speculation about Da Vinci and stuff, you know what I mean? And all the stuff, whatever. Art is always a threat to dictators, whether you're a writer, a painter, a musician. Tony just added the sticker to my guitar. Guthrie.
This machine kills fascists.
Go.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So
Arlo would be proud.
So they fear artists. And that's why I say don't stop. Don't stop writing. Don't stop making art and making them look like a fool. And all of the above. The cartoons. The political cartoons are ripping him a new asshole, and he's all butthurt about it. If he's butthurt about a fucking cartoon or a goddamn M&M for that matter, I mean, it's ridiculous, but he gets butthurt about everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
keep pushing those buttons. We know that is what makes him fucking lose his fucking mind, is when people don't like him and he whines and bitches and cries about it. It's I've never seen anything like this ever. And I want you guys to go out there and tell the young people in your lives that this is not fucking normal.
No, this is not normal
This
at
is
all.
not normal.
And not
If your
normal.
if your kid acted like this, if your niece or nephew acted like this,
Yeah.
if your
You
little
would definitely
cousin acted
pull them
like
to the
this,
side and have a little
hell yes.
conversation.
They would get a timeout. They would get a spanking if you do that. Everybody has their way.
Words would be spoken.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Geek,
Corners would be snotty.
I beg to differ, but he said, but a guitar can't really be called a machine. It can be if it's electronic and you have to plug it in. Just saying.
It's got machine heads on it. That's what those keys are called that you change the pitch of the strings with. That's machine heads.
Yeah. So
I
They're
honestly
literally machine heads.
I honestly think all of his little fights that he's been having with Bruce Springsteen and calling out how, Taylor Swift isn't hot anymore, it's all because these people never accepted him. Even when he had a successful show, they still didn't accept him.
Because he's
They
a
still
fucking
saw him as the
scumbag.
fraud. Yeah, they saw him as the fraud he is. And they didn't give him the respect that he thought he deserved.
who, Dinky? Yeah, all the rich people in New York snubbed the fuck out of him. They didn't want him in their country clubs. Why do you think
Or
he
in
bought country
Hollywood.
clubs? He bought country clubs because he couldn't get into the other country clubs because they wouldn't have him because he's too much of a piece of shit.
I saw Steve Madden, Steve Madden, ripping him apart about his tariffs the other day in a clip. And
Now,
he's from
Steve
Queens.
Madden, I
He's
think
from
of
Queens,
shoe
New York.
designer. Who's Steve Madden?
Steve Madden is a clothing designer. He had those really chunky boots in the early 2000s, like
shoe
Doc
designer.
Martin.
Yeah, Steve Madden,
Yeah.
shoe designer. Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about the same person.
Like Candies. Candies was another brand around that time that was really popular.
I'm a
He was
massive
talking-
Steve Madden fan, but go ahead.
Okay. But he was talking about how the price of shoes is about to go up for everybody.
Yeah.
And that he still hasn't recovered from before January his stocks. of shoes and merchandise coming over because there's not a demand for it because it's too freaking expensive now. And it's just like, it's thrown the, and I'm not going to cry about fashion designers. It's really not my gig. I don't care. But people got to make money. Like that's what we're known for in this country, is having businesses and making money, moving products.
Steve Madden, American company, but I got to say, all this stuff is made in China. Now, Steve, if you had that shit, we got leather people here. Hell, I'm a leather person. I fucking love leather. You know, I would have, if I had anything, I would be doing leather or some kind of material, something. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm an artist and I'm creative and I got to create shit. And so, Steve Madden, there's leather people here. You just would have to pay them a lot more money. And then have to sell your shoes instead of $80, $90 shoes, which were affordable to me, right? Because I was working and making money and I love Steve Madden shoes. I have a pair of fucking like $300 fucking suede boots from Steve Madden and I can't fit into them anymore because all of a sudden after COVID, my foot grew a fucking inch. I'm a freak.
I actually think he's using these tariffs as just another extortion. I think he sees these tariffs as a way for other countries to bribe him or to kind of
Steve Madden has to go to Dinky and say, you have to take off the but all his shoes are made in China. So how are you going to take off all the China sanctions or just for Steve Madden? If he kisses your ass.
Well, and also even if you do that, like Tim Cook did, you're still going to get threatened with a 25% tariff to your company. How can you apply a singular tariff to a singular business?
How about Steve Madden? You're also a millionaire. How about putting some of your own fucking money in? You know, some of these designers, they're billionaires themselves. So I don't like
I said, I don't agree. I don't agree with the whole fashion thing. I think a lot of companies use indentured servitude, shall we say, to get the job done.
It's why his fucking shoes are made in China.
And it's all of them. I mean, one of the things that happened whenever China first got that ridiculous 145% tariff, I don't know if you guys saw this, but all of the very swanky brands like the Prada and the Coach and the Louis Vuitton all had these Chinese companies coming forward and was like, you know, all that stuff is made with super cheap stuff, right? Like, we just slap a label on it and you buy it, and
yeah, you buy $10,000 bags that cost $20 to make. That's why I don't believe in all that fucking. That's why I don't keep up with it. It's too expensive. It fucking drown me.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did you see the?
Tony wants to play something. So hold on. What is this,
okay.
Tony? Oh, this is a FAFO. It says FAFO 2025. Trump screwed white farmers too. And there's a big. Okay, I don't know what this is.
So this guy, for years, who always
can you turn it up?
Trump flags. Well, he turned the motherfucker upside down because Trump is fucking all the farmers. Look at this shit. I hope he fucks them all up, man. This is between coming from Helena and going to Little Rock. And now all of a sudden, his Trump 2024 flag is flying upside down. He had to pay a lot of money for that motherfucker, man. They put that flagpole there, and for years, he's always flown
and it's a half-mast.
Trump flags. And Trump fucked him in 2020.
It's not even a half-mast. It's lower than half-mast.
And now Trump's fucking up from 2025 all the way to 2028. And now it's upside down and half-mast. I hope he fucks him out of his whole farm. I hope he destroys him with his stupid fucking terrorists and like he's fucking all these farmers. Well, good for you, sir. I guess you fucked around and found out, huh?
I did hear there's a bailout for farmers in this bill, and I think that's what he's banking on to get
Let's bail him out again. The second time.
Yep.
No, this is more than twice. See,
Yep.
because there was
Well, the
a
first
time.
His first
back
administration,
in the-
Benny. Yeah.
Time back in the day when there was a thing called Farm Aid,
Right.
where all the musicians got together and played concerts to bail out the farmers. Why?
That was
'Cause
before
they got
Dinky,
fucked
though.
by the Republicans.
Yeah. That was during another Republican, but Dinky had to bail them out majorly his first
the last
administration.
time.
Yeah.
Because of tariffs.
You guys saw the rump watch, didn't you? That some Dinky supporters paid $600 for this one of a kind watch.
And then the T fell out.
It was missing the T on the watch face, and it just says rump.
It just says rump.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see it. So we only have a few minutes to go, but I saw this and I showed Tony hasn't seen it yet, but now he's seen it. He's seen it for the first time. And it says, I don't think it's particularly a hot take to say that the person who posted a time lapse of themselves playing GTA V, which I don't know what that is a shoot 'em up game, Grand Theft Auto, on interstate in their Cybertruck should be in prison. This
Oh no.
Videotape. Yeah, you can't play the music. Videotape themselves in their Cybertruck going down the interstate playing a fucking video game.
I just saw one of these Cybertrucks like veer off the road and slam into a tree and flip over on autopilot. Like,
This is
aren't
so
there still laws
dangerous.
where you have to be able to hold the wheel?
No, this is so goddamn dangerous. I don't want self-driving cars, by the way, people.
I don't either.
I actually like driving.
I do too.
It's one of it's like a fun thing. And when we were 16, boy, did we race to that fucking goddamn Secretary of State. Couldn't get there fast enough to get our goddamn driver's licenses. Okay, so like, I don't get this. Why would you not want to drive? And okay, I get it on a long trip. But what happens when you're caught sound asleep behind a fucking moving vehicle going 70 miles an hour down a fucking freeway?
What if you have a medical emergency?
Well,
Like,
Diane,
what happens-
we've gotten an answer to your question, Diane, because one of the test drivers for the self-driving cars was actually asleep behind the wheel, and it had an accident, and the driver was charged for the accident.
Did you guys also see that there's an allegation that Tesla's trying to avoid warranties by rolling back the odometer?
I heard that a couple weeks back, maybe a month back.
But we'll never know because we fired every AG and inspector and anybody who would investigate or report it or go to court about it. So
John.
Cool,
John
great,
Depp
awesome.
In our chat, Diane drives like a bat out of hell. Yeah, you would know, bro. I'm a fast driver. And if I was in my Honda, it'd be even worse. But I love my Honda.
You have to drive fast in a Honda. It's just, that's the way they drive.
It's just a rule.
It's just that's the way they were built.
I feel that way about any little 5-speed.
Yeah,
They're
it's a
meant
stick
to just,
shift,
peel
2-door.
around and
Give
zip
me a
around.
fucking
and-
break.
Yeah. That's why I don't drive them anymore, because I
got
need
the
something
most-
that I need to drive at a reasonable speed limit.
Right. Yeah, I got the most speeding tickets ever in my life in my Honda. So, yeah, I'm glad I'm not driving it anymore.
The thing is, you can't have a red one, number one. Number two, you got to zing in and out of traffic. And the bigger cars, if you sneak in behind a bigger car and you just slow down, the radar picks them up, not you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy
That's
to
the
hide from the
advantage of
radar.
having a little car. Anyway, we've got just a few minutes left. You guys, do you want any closing statements?
I got one.
Okay.
Tony, there's one that's Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels is attending this concert of a guy we all know and love who sings her favorite song, "Fuck Donald Trump," and
so good.
it's just a little send off. This is my final thoughts.
Are they playing "Fuck Donald Trump" on it?
At the very end,
They're actually talking to Stormy Daniels.
they are. Yeah, they're talking to Stormy Daniels. She's telling her, they hug her, and then they start the song.
Because we can't play it on our show anymore. They keep giving us a
No
copyright.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a- All right. Never mind, I guess.
Never mind.
It's her, like, I don't know. It was just silly. If you can see the screen, it's Dinky and
Wait. You Stormy Daniels.
I'm Stormy fucking Daniels.
You the one that fucked Donald Trump. Oh, you really fucked Donald Trump, though.
No, I just laid there.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Okay. Yeah.
So they go into the song, but those tiny hands, the little tiny hands, I don't know if you saw, but like touching her face. Oh, God damn it, dude. Not right.
He's so
Oh,
gross.
he's so gross. I'm sorry, he's just so gross.
Yeah,
He's so
gonna-
gross.
Here's another thing to consider. His filters are failing.
Yes.
One thing that I've noticed is that he has no inhibition whatsoever. And that's gonna hurt him. He's gonna slip up and say something. He's gonna have a Mitch glitch. He's gonna fall. Something's gonna happen, and he's gonna say something that his team's not gonna be able to take back as easily. I expect that to happen in at least the next 6 months.
Any day now.
Any day now.
And
It's
I
getting-
think that there's
this-
a lot like this story about the bugs in the fucking Pentagon or whatever, phone wiretaps or whatever. This is not going to be good. This is not good. This is going to blow up. Something has got to give. And I keep feeling that, stretching a rubber band till its breaking point or blowing up the balloon until it pops. You know what I
The
mean?
levee's gonna break.
Yeah,
His elasticity is running out.
Yeah, and I just feel like something's gonna snap.
I feel like very slowly you're starting to see the knives come out. Like very slowly it's becoming like Julius Caesar E2 Brute.
Well, and I feel like also the right that is freaking out about the Epstein files, they're not giving up. These motherfuckers are relentless on this shit. We gave up because we were distracted by other shit, and we were like, "These committing so many crimes, I don't even know where to start." Exhaustion, flooding the zone with shit stuff that we keep trying to keep up with, and they are laser focused on this. And if anything comes out about the Epstein, that they can actually, they'll finally realize that Dinky's all over the Epstein files, and that's why they're redacted, and that's why they don't want it to come out. When MAGA finds that out, do you know how fucking pissed off they're going to be? QAnon, MAGA, all of them. Because they all think it's going to be, Bill Clinton and all these fucking other people, but they don't think it's going to be Dinky. He's all over it.
I think another thing that's really concerning about this whole break with Putin is I saw an interview with James Comey talking about him having to go and have a conversation with Dinky about a 2013 trip he took to Russia that involved hookers in his hotel room and how it was recorded. I think it just happened because Comey's been making the rounds after his 8647 seashell business. But he was talking about in 2013 that there's video. And I'm wondering if that might be released if Putin gets pissed off enough, which will be very interesting to see.
If Comey's seen the video, why didn't
I don't
he
know that
release
he's seen the video, I don't know that he's seen the video. I think he got confirmation from his Russian counterparts that it exists.
Okay.
And that he was having to go to
It's not necessarily
Dinky.
the PP tape.
Correct. It could be, but yeah, all it was said was they're a hooker. Right.
I just,
But he was there.
need to add, wait a minute. I need to add this. The PP tape, there's 2 P's in pedophile. Just so you know.
But this was around the time that he was running. So that's why James Comey came to him and was like, just know that this is out here. And of course, Dinky, denied everything.
So what is
Said
it?
he would,
wait, what
he
is
would
it
never
again?
pay. What?
What's the Comey thing, the rumor about?
Comey said that Dinky went over there for a Miss Universe pageant in 2013, and he shared a hotel room with some hookers.
Right.
And Dinky shut him down and was like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about this because I would never pay for a hooker. Like, yeah, of course you wouldn't pay for it. You just fucking rape her. Yeah. Asshole.
Well, the only contractor who ever got paid. The only contractor he ever paid was Stormy Daniels.
Truth bomb. Jesus.
So, anyway, you guys, we got to go over and we got to raid Sons of Liberty. And so hashtag 21st Century Suffragette raid over there at Sons of Liberty. And thank you guys so much for joining us today. Benny, Spykin, Lindsay, thank you so much. All of our moderators and everyone in the chat, thank you guys. You mean so much to us. Roxanne got a membership for 2 months. Fancy sent 5 gifted memberships. Jim the Geek got a 2-month membership, and Nurmudge sent 10 gift memberships.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. How sweet, just sweet as can be, and we love you dearly. And go out there, hold your head high, don't be afraid. Speak out when you get a fucking chance, and put these motherfuckers down verbally. You got the ammunition. You got all the information in your brain. Use it. Use it.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. And we
Shout outs to you, family.
We will see you guys Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at 21st Century Suffragettes. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. Have a good one. Wrong screen, wrong button. I don't understand.
I don't understand. I really don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why that doesn't work. Why does it cut back to me? I don't know why it cuts back to me. The buttons are pressed. I pressed everything. I don't know why it's happening. I don't understand. I don't understand. What is happening? Why does that do that?
Contemplating the origin of why. The end of the world, the end of time. Planets aligning, I feel fine. I can't take all the violence and the pain. With 6-string by candlelight. And I'm still young, trying to start my life.
Look how shiny it is, Grammy. It's so shiny. It's so shiny.